If I didn't know anyone on the island, I'd go there. But
Hey, you know what it is? Fire. That's the one we just did. Well, I wanted to ask you, was the number 64 have any significance? Just there.
yeah, it was fine. No significant. Yep. Didn't want to wear it for I don't think I wore these shorts yet, though.
Why is it called away from here? Because that's the word.
These are right. Is 2 creamers enough?
No, I put 3.
You put 3.
Because I don't use sugar. But you know, I stopped stir from sugar then. All of a sudden I have to have sugar fix. Like I can eat 6 bars of candy. And I don't want anybody to bother me. I just have to have them.
You feel like you have to.
Yeah.
I know what that feeling is like.
This woman, you know, her chicken wing has a cross on it. And you know, the shell is kind of
Yeah, the shell's weird.
unusual, huh? It's supposed to be smooth.
That's not really a cross.
Yeah.
It looks like a plus.
Yeah. That's a plus one. I guess for people who really want to believe that it's a miracle.
She's on TV. National, international news. You can start checking it later. Stupid day.
The other day, this woman said her pancake had the face of one of the religious figures.
See the one with the iron that looked like Jesus on it? That was in the last 2 weeks. That actually really did look like, it really did look like a regular portrait of Jesus. I thought, wow, that is pretty amazing.
Iron?
It was bottom of an iron. They had a perfect, it had like him and it had the robe.
What do you mean, with the iron?
It was like stained with Jesus. It looked, that one looked very real. I was like,
Maybe
wow.
somebody did that on it.
Okay, national headlines. It's on the phone. Oh, okay. I'm not using my phone. Yeah, it's not like you know, flying over there to see it or something.
You don't want it? No. I'll just handle the coffee.
Go straight to the one that tried to save us.
See, I like you in your short shorts.
She said those are her long shorts.
No, it's
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
I can hardly believe you guys only going to be here for 3 more days. It's Friday.
Yep, today's Friday.
Where did the time fly?
Yesterday went by. We were here all day yesterday.
Yeah,
Blue.
really, yeah.
You want one?
Yeah, really.
Let me put on a plate.
So am I gonna see what you guys shot yesterday?
Oh, we can. She wants to watch the DVD.
Oh,
They're not
Can
here
you?
though. They're not here.
oh, you didn't bring it.
Yeah, they're. I took them out. So
Maybe it's for the Why is it for the- These three, huh?
Yeah, that makes sense.
These are big ones, this is black. So we keep having it.
So you gotta check your phone.
He said, first he said, there's, people in everyone's, I said, no, please explain, he said, well, maybe, you're renting the rooms out to, Korean people. I said, no, I don't think so, and he said, look, there's a man and a woman and a child in one room, and, you know, but I said, I don't see anything, so I said,
Maybe that's why you like to stay out here, because it's safer out here. You know what I mean? Rather-
yeah, it's brighter. So I told him, you know, if it gives you any comfort, you know, sleep with the lights on. Because when it's bright, you have very rarely you're gonna sleep there. Then he came in my room, and my wheelchair was next to my bed. He said, see, there's a white puppy over there. So I got up, and I said, there isn't any. So, anyway, it was time, even though it was a few minutes after 12, I said, well, it's the next day, I'll give you your high blood pressure pills. So as I was, you know, walking along with this, just when I came to that, the middle, you know,
Or the hallway.
yeah, by the hallway, he looked startled because he said, there's a woman there. And I just went through it, and he looked like, wow, I ran over somebody. I said, no, Dad, there's nobody there. But he looked so, you know, worried. I said, no, there was no woman. He kind of said, you kind of thought, you know, how can I run, go through and actually hit that woman? It's only anything in the I said, whatever you see, only you can see. As long as you realize that. Because people live with
So,
Scary. I don't know.
was he awake or was he dreaming?
no, so wait,
He wasn't sleepwalking.
no,
Does he ever sleepwalk?
no.
Have they done tests to see? Because
No,
that's
that's what-
beyond.
That's what I'm gonna bring him to a, geriatric doctor, because I'm sure, you know, old people have that common problem. I'm gonna make an appointment. It's just the doctors here are so busy.
So, because that's not, I don't think that's a form of Alzheimer's when you see stuff. That sounds like it's something else. It's something like going on mentally.
Dimensions? Do you see things dimensions?
But you see, anytime people don't know what it is, they always attach that word, no, syndrome. Because it's very vague, it's like an umbrella word.
He needs to get checked out though if he's seeing
Yeah.
stuff.
But it's, it's surprising regularity. It's
like
not like
daily now.
That's
every
daily now.
day.
Yeah, that's not.
Daily thing now.
Definitely should get checked out.
Like, you don't want to see something violent or something, you know?
No,
Like
it's like,
somebody trying to attack you.
so when I asked him, I said, well, Dan, what do you see? He said, well, he sees, like monkeys, dogs, non-threatening people. I said, do you see people, trying to come after you, like, really scary, maybe devil? And he said, no, he doesn't see this. I said, well, that's a good thing. But just remember that whatever you see, it's in your mind. Well, I am going to take him because it's getting to be very,
It's too regular.
yeah, it's like every night.
Like Faye's done that twice in the last 2 years, so I kind of feel with that, but it's like becoming regular.
Yeah, but if it become a pattern, yeah, every day.
Did you wake up now too?
Yeah, in fact, Nelson said, Mom, if I saw something, nobody could convince me that I didn't see it. But he said, if I could see it, it must be there.
Faye still thinks there's an alien and a big spider in her room.
Yeah.
Because her answer is, well, I know I saw it. It's not like, oh, I'm crazy, and it's not crazy. Look at her smile. She's like, I'm a murderer. Kill people.
Yeah.
Well, she basically was dating, what, 2 guys? And she is the one guy, basically the one guy killed the other guy. What she's claiming though, she didn't know would escalate to murder. Even though she's the one who worked both guys on both sides. She's bad. She's not a good person. She said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for someone to get killed. You have to let me go.
Oh, but her parents are $1 million in debt to the lawyers.
You make her pay for it.
Oh, so one guy killed the other guy?
Mhm.
Because they both really like him.
No,
No, and,
well, yeah.
And her roommate was found with her throat slit.
Yeah. Actually, it was a. Wait, what was the story? Well, I thought there was 2 guys involved, yeah?
One guy is already incarcerated.
Right.
And this one, that's her ex-boyfriend.
She was dating both of them.
I don't know about, but you see, she was heavily into drugs. So it could be that, she was doing all these crazy things in a drug-induced haze. So, you see, this is the woman that they found. And they found Amanda's DNA on her. It's hard to disprove that. That's the boyfriend that did not see her.
Family, yeah.
Early on, the lawyers talked amongst themselves. We don't know what information they got, but it's really kind of a tough situation right now. We feel for them, and we've said that repeatedly, very publicly. But we don't know how they're feeling. We don't know what they think. And until they know you know, that Amanda had nothing to do with this, it's kind of an awkward situation. But when that time comes,
Amanda had
absolutely we'll
nothing to
reach
do
out.
with it.
If convicted, Knox could spend the rest of her life in prison. At this hour, following a hearing that may determine when Melissa Huckabee will be tried for rape, kidnapping, and murder of 8-year-old Sandra Cantu. Cameras aren't allowed at the hearing, but we've been told Huckabee will be there. This is video from her hearing in April. A judge in San Joaquin County, California, could set a trial date, and if one is set, or if there are any late new developments, we're going to bring them to you.
Great.
She very
After he crashed his SUV, neighbors say they found Tiger Woods last Friday, a week ago today, lying on the ground without any shoes. The Florida Highway Patrols released their audio tape interviews with neighbors who rushed to help him. Jarius Adams says Woods' wife, Elin, was talking to the golfer. Adams said they put a blanket on it and pillows under his head.
Was he in the street, or was he still?
He was in the street.
Okay, so he's in the street on the side. Okay. And who else was there with him? And you said
His wife.
His wife, and her name is Eli?
Eden.
Eden, okay. All right. And was he conscious, unconscious?
At that point, he was snoring.
He was snoring.
He was actually snoring.
Okay. Did she say anything to you?
No. I mean, at this point, she was actually very quiet, just kind of in shock. You know, just kind of sitting there. It wasn't very verbal.
The neighbor said Woods did not smell of alcohol this week. The golfer was cited and fined for careless driving. On her sister network CNN last night, a former NBA star Magic Johnson told Larry King he thinks Tiger should just come clean with the public about what happened.
It's probably a tough situation right now for him. I'm hoping that he can get his wife and they can huddle up and try to work it out. And he should be just focusing on his wife and his kids right now.
When you had a difficult situation,
Magic Johnson,
you
yes,
came
he
right
is, right?
forward with it. Just get on public right away.
Well, I know
He,
he's different than me,
he
but
was
I would
sleeping around,
hope
right?
that one day, soon, that he would
He
come
got
publicly and
big
just
from
say,
her.
hey,
She
I'm
was
here.
such a
Yes,
woman.
I made a mistake. You know, and tell the honest truth, and then just move on.
But the sad part is,
One of the women at the center of the scandal is Rachel Lucatel, who has denied having any relationship with Tiger Woods. She also
you
hired
don't have sex
high-powered
with his
attorney
wife
Gloria
cookie.
Allred to represent her.
Oh, right.
Yesterday, set up and then abruptly canceled a news conference to discuss Lucatel's relationship with Tiger Woods. The only reason given, unforeseen circumstances. But Allred's daughter is a CNN legal analyst, Lisa Bloom. I spoke to her by phone today and asked her why her mother would suddenly cancel a news conference.
First of all, my mother has an obligation of confidentiality to her clients, so she hasn't told me anything, but as a legal analyst, I pieced this together, and I think the answer is pretty clear. I worked with my mom as an attorney with her in her firm for 9 years. She has never canceled a news conference, I think, ever in her career, as far as I know. The only possible reason she would do it is if she had a deal in hand, signed, sealed, and delivered. And we know that paparazzi saw my mom coming out of Tiger Woods' attorney's offices the other night, so we know there were negotiations going on. We know that she was coming out of Rachel Lucatel's hotel room the night before the news conference was scheduled after midnight, and the news conference was canceled
So
at 7 a.m.
money
So
payment.
she had to have worked all night.
So
And there would
basically
have to
she
be a
used
deal in
Tiger.
place for her to have canceled. That's the
Right, that's
only
what it is.
possible
She used Tiger for
explanation.
money.
And I would
And then
say,
when she's
knowing
going
my
for
mom and the
exposure,
kinds
she
of
said, I'm
cases
gonna
she
talk
takes on,
about
only very
family once,
significant
so
cases, it would have to be in
money.
excess of $1 million. I can't see her canceling a press conference in a case this big for anything less than that.
Yes,
All right.
$1 million.
The words of Lisa
At least
Bloom,
$1 million.
her daughter, but she did say she hadn't spoken to her mother, Gloria Allred, after that news conference was canceled. Let's get to some economic news. The unemployment rate fell to 10% last month. The Labor Department making the announcement early today. Employers cut the fewest number of jobs in November since the recession began.
This is so, I don't like
2
this
years
data.
ago,
It's not right.
11,000 was the number cut. 111,000 jobs have been lost in.
The date, because they base it off the number of unemployment checks issued, not the actual number.
you know, actually, good thing I say the economy is getting better. As long as people losing their jobs, nothing good.
Should I leave that on accident?
Yeah.
I feel gross.